And I know I say this every time, but I have a twist to it this time. So I know you said we're going to grow old together, and I think that just means grow older together. But this month makes it exactly half of my life that I've been with Melaleuca, because I'm 28 and a half years with Melaleuca and I'm 57. And so it's half my life is being here. And that's amazing to me.
Congratulations, Danny. That's awesome.
That's great. Well, I've been half my life too. I'm 73 and we're in it 36 years. So yeah, we're right there.
Same.
Do we get a bonus for that? You and me?
You'd think, wouldn't you? You'd think so.
The longevity bonus or the I'm still bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let me real quick.
The Kelly bonus would be a good one. Yeah, that's awesome.
I can't complain with the bonuses we're getting. So, all right, so let's just go over just a couple of things real quick. First of all, I want to thank everybody who joined us today on our Executive Power Hour. And Frank, this is something that we do every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's open to every team. We've had up to 100 people on here. Now in the summer, we're more along the lines of 50 people, but we do some training for the first 10 minutes and then everybody shuts off they mute themselves out. We keep the cameras on and we just keep each other company for 2 hours while we're making phone calls to set appointments. And that's been a huge help to so many people. So I just wanted to thank everybody who was joining us on the Power Hour this week. And also make sure you guys know, most of you're all watching this live on our Time and Freedom Team Facebook page, but it's so important to make sure you're plugged into the Melaleuca Enhancing Lives Facebook page, because that's where you're getting firsthand information from the company. So please make sure, if you're not already a part of that you do join that page. And another thing you want to make sure you see tomorrow night. Now, everybody knows we have this new overview. We're actually talking about it last week with Jerry, and it's great to see different leaders doing the overview. So tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Idaho time, we have National Director 2, Ernest Ross, is going to be doing the live overview using the new live overview, and you can register for that on the Melaleuca Enhancing Lives page. So want to invite everybody to check that out. And also there will be no Zooms next Monday for 4th of July and for Canada's holiday, which will be on Friday right before it. And but then we'll be back the following week with Corporate Director 2, excuse me, Civilco, and we'll be back in action. So that's all I got right now, but it's so great to have you with us, Frank. Thank you so much. You're always so kind to come and jump on. And I have to tell you, this is something that we started doing years ago with Jason Fisher, and he always used to love when you would come on. And so just the fact that you still do that for us is just so appreciated. Me and Maria and I have just been so excited to have you. And I have to apologize because I've been kind of driving Scott a little bit crazy trying to get this whole thing together. So Scott, I apologize, but thank you so much. And Maria doesn't let me do the introducers because I just don't do them very well. So I'm going to do my part.
That's my favorite part. I get to introduce our executive chairman, Frank Vandersloot, founder of Melaleuca. But Frank, we're going to make it a little bit more fun tonight, not so formal. So I reached out to Belinda and I got some fun facts to share with everyone. So, very fun facts. He's a little nervous now. But we thought we'd share it with everyone. First of all, you and Belinda have 14 children and now 54 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. Wow, that's growing rapidly there. Great-grandchildren, that was impressive to see that, 7. And she shared with me that what's most important to you is that your grandchildren learn to work hard and that you provide opportunities for them to do that. She also mentioned that you get more done in a day than she's ever known anyone to do, and I think we can all agree on that. You fall asleep very easily in church because you say you have a clean conscience. So I thought that was a good one. Your favorite treats are dark chocolate and peanuts. And we know your favorite ice cream is chocolate peanut butter, so that goes without saying. And I asked her, what do you both like to do for fun when you're not working? And she said you just like, to be together and you enjoy going to the movies, taking a drive and exploring your ranches and your property, which, by the way, a lot of us that are tuning in this evening have had the pleasure of exploring your beautiful property in Kauai. So thank you to that. Thank you for that. And another fun fact and true fact is that Belinda is absolutely crazy about you. And so are we. We absolutely love and respect you. And we're so excited for everybody tonight to get to hear you and get to listen to your message. And we were really excited when we ran into you at convention, if you recall, at lunchtime when Danny and I were kind of like in panic mode, like, Frank, you're not stepping down, you're not leaving, are you? And when you promoted Jerry to CEO, and immediately you're like, did you check my social media? And that was kind of fun to hear, like, you did a post on social media. We went to read it right away, and you set the message straight that you're not going anywhere. And we're so happy to have you here tonight with all of us. So the floor is yours, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Frank.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on your program tonight. You didn't give me a time limit, so I have no idea how long we're going to go, but I thought I might.
Hours.
Say what?
4.5, 5 hours.
Right. So I thought I would give you a little bit of a message about some things I think is important for folks to know these tumultuous times. And then I thought, I didn't know, Danny, if there was some way to throw it open to questions or not.
We have a few that we've been
Oh,
collecting.
you have a few. Okay. So first, let me explain. When you say 14 kids, how in the world and who? I mean, what are you thinking? So let me explain a little bit. So, about almost 30 years ago, I found myself to be I went through a divorce, and I never thought I would be divorced. Never in my life had I thought that. But I was, and I was a single parent with 6 kids, and we had joint custody of these kids. So the kids were with me a lot of the time. And I'm a pretty good dad, but I'm not a great mom. And I felt I needed that in my home. It took me a little while, but I found this neat, wonderful person. She was in Portland, Oregon. She had 8 children, and she'd been single for a while. But the most lovely, she'd had some tough stuff happen to her. And I was really so impressed, because usually when I've talked to folks that have gone through tough relationships and tough marriages, and they carry sometimes a grudge, and they're angry, and there was none of that with her. She had reasons maybe to be angry, but she wasn't angry. She said, here's what happened, and here's where we are as a family, and we're trying to get by. And I just, actually, we dated on the phone for the longest time. I just thought, here's a wonderful person. And then this was 27 and a half years ago. We got to know each other better. And I said, you know what, we ought to see if we can put these 2 families together, because I think that you would be a wonderful blessing to have in my life. And I brought her here to Idaho. And she was a city girl. She's not a city girl anymore. And she brought her 8 children. And we lived in a little tiny farmhouse back then. And I said, someday everybody's got to share a bedroom. Everybody's got to share a bedroom with somebody. I know you don't know these kids, but we had this little tiny farmhouse we were living in at the time. I knew I'd get married, anticipate I'd get married someday. So it wasn't, it was clean and neat, but it wasn't very fixed up. So anyway, we got married a little over 26 years ago, and moved her 8 children in with my 6. And it's been the most wonderful, wonderful blessing. It's been busy, and now they've, almost all of them are married, and they've had children of their own. And so now we do have 54 grandchildren, and it's a hoot, man, I'm telling you. And so it keeps us busy, it keeps us hopping. She gets all the credit for making this all work. Blended families are tough, I've heard. And I'm not going to suggest that that's easy, but she's made it so wonderful. The kids called me dad from the very first day of our marriage, and they treat me like their father, and every one of them. And I'm just so blessed. So that's a little bit of a background of how did we end up like that. Now I want to talk to you today about these are tough economic times that we have. It's amazing what's going on in our country. Really concerning to me. And we came out and we were going to go on a tour last September. We thought, hey, this COVID thing's getting better, and we're going to go out and we're going to do a nationwide tour. We're going to start on one side of the nation. We're going to do 3 meetings a day, and we're going to meet everybody. And right then, COVID heated up again, and it got really bad. And we thought, this might not be the best time for us to be on the road. And we didn't want to have what they were calling back then a super spreader. So we said, we'll do this via, video. And you might recall, we talked about the economy then. And just 2 months before that, the Secretary of Treasury, Janet Yellen, had said, inflation might get up to 3%, she was saying. And we said, we came out in September, we said it's going to get a lot worse than that. I'm not sure why she was saying that. I don't know why. She had to know better. They had the best consultants in the country. And, the chairman of the Federal Reserve had a message, something similar to that. We're saying, we better let people know what's coming, man. So we did, and we asked people to write their senator. When you dump trillions of dollars in the economy and you give everybody checks and you say, you don't have to, we'll give this check, just take this check. And people started saying, I don't need to go to work anymore. I got enough money. Me and my girlfriend, we could just stay here and watch, TV and play video games. And we got our beer and our pretzel, and heck, and if we have kids between us, we can even get more money, and we don't have to go to work anymore. So they did it. And that's when that's when they couldn't move. They couldn't get truck drivers. So the whole, supply chain started shutting down on us. And we said, this is not going to clear up soon. And they were talking about giving more money, putting more money in. And we asked you to write your senator and your congressman, and provided a way to do that easily. And so many of you did, thousands of you did. And people all around the country said, stop this. No more of these. They were trying to put, I think, another $3 trillion into the economy. And that's what's caused the inflation. Is this money has to go someplace. So people started buying stuff. And when people buy more, there's a higher demand than there is supply. And then prices just shoot up. And so that's upon us. And we said inflation is going to get worse. And then we came out at January launch, and we reminded everybody, we said it's going to get a lot worse than this, guys, and there's going to be supply chain issues. And sure enough, here we are. And even then people were saying, Janet Yellen again, well, it's just transitory. Yeah, it's worse than what I said, but it's just transitory, which really means that was the topic of the day. The press was all saying transitory. Well, it wasn't transitory. And now they're admitting it's here to stay for a long time. Inflation's bad. They're raising interest rates. Good night. The interest rates now for home mortgages are above 5.5%, 6%. We think that they're going to go to 7%, maybe 8%. Back in the 1970s, we saw home interest rates that high. We think that they're going to go there again. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going to happen now. We did not forecast the war in Ukraine, and the war in Ukraine is not what's causing gas prices to go up. It's that the government shut down all drilling. They made it really difficult. They shut down fracking. They shut down the U.S. supply of oil. They're saying now that they didn't do that, but they did. And so we no longer supply our own oil like we were just a few years back. So we're dependent on other countries so now oil prices are through the ceiling, and the price of gasoline is not going to come down soon, guys. So what I want to talk to you about is what's going to happen now, and how's that going to affect us? Because we can talk about the economy of the nation, but the only really important economy to you is the economy in your own household. So everything we said was going to happen is happening, has happened, and is happening. I don't know. I asked myself, surely the leaders of our country had to see this was coming. This was not like, we're not a lot smarter than they are. And they either were telling us things they knew not to be true, or they weren't smart enough to figure it out. Either one of those things, I think, is bad news. And I think they knew. I mean, they can't not have known. Like I said, they have a lot better. They got all the best consultants and experts in the world. Surely they knew. But why they told us something different, I don't know. But it's concerning. So we're going to talk about, for a few minutes, what now? And this world is changing. They're increasing interest rates. These interest rates is going to shut down the building market. You watch what's happening. You're going to see people who are building a home can't afford to build a home now because they had a price of, they're going to build let's say they're going to build an $800,000 home. And they could afford it when they get the interest rate at 2.5%. And so they got a construction loan to build a home at 2.5%, but they didn't get the loan, their permanent loan locked in, thinking that interest rate is going to stay at 2.5%. But now it didn't stay at 2.5%. Now it's at 5.5, 6, 5, 5.5, 5.8, something like that. And so now they can't even afford, they can't afford the loan. They won't qualify because of the interest rate. And so those people who could buy an $800,000 home, you do the math on your own situation, they could afford, could qualify. The bank would say, yeah, we'll loan you the money at 2% interest rate. You can qualify for an $800,000 home. That's what was creating all this building boom, because everybody they could now afford so much more home than they ever could. And that drove prices up here in Idaho Falls. They're saying the inflation rate now is 8.6%. We know the price of food is going up a lot faster than 8.6% a year. The housing price is a lot higher, a lot faster than that. Look what happened to gas prices, a lot more than 8.6%. I don't know where they get their 8.6%, but the impact on your household is more than 8.6%. But so these people that now were qualifying for an $800,000 loan, now they only qualify to buy a $500,000 house. They could buy an $800,000 house. Now they can only buy a $500,000 house. So those who have already built a house and now they got to qualify, those loans are going to default. There's a large number of homes that are going to go into default. I went on the road in 2008. Many of you were there. I said, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have homes. We gave some warnings you with don't take out these flexible mortgage rates because they're going to come back and bite you. And we forecasted there were going to be none of the experts were telling us this, but we said this is going to happen. Sure enough, of course, we had the housing bubble and the whole thing collapsed, and we went through that real painful period, 2009, 2010. Well, a little bit of that kind of thing is going to happen here. And I just tell you that because what we saw people do when they saw housing prices go down, and high interest rates will drive price of homes down because no one's going to qualify for an $800,000 home at a 6-7% interest rate. No one's going to qualify. And so if somebody's got a house to sell, they're going to have to lower the price until you get into the level that people can afford. And so you're going to see another housing bubble burst here. I don't know if it's going to be as bad as it was in 2008, but it's going to happen. You're going to see the cost of homes go down. You're going to see building supplies. The building supplies are through the roof, have been for the last 30 to 60 days. You're going to see, well, actually the last 6 to 10 months, building supplies have been through the roof. You're going to see the cost of building a home come down. You're going to see people laying off, layoffs left and right. They're already starting. People were building, companies were expanding, people were, the construction market was going nuts, and that's going to dry up. And so you're going to have a lot of people that don't have a job now, and they're going to be looking for work. That's already happening in some of the larger companies. Silicon Valley starting to lay off people. You're going to see people, and I tell you this because it's going to affect your Melaleuca business. It's going to mean people are out there, they're going to want to have a plan B. There's going to be people that need what we have. I was in Salt Lake City last week. In fact, it was just a week ago. Tomorrow was last Tuesday. And I was talking to a CEO who has a business there, not a large business, 700 employees. He said, we have not been able to get anybody to come on. I mean, we can't hire people. Nobody is applying for a job until now. Nobody, for the last 6 months, we couldn't get anybody to apply for a job. And he said, after they raised the interest rates for the third time, last month, they had 300 applicants. They only have 700 employees. So they were bombarded with applicants, job applicants. We're not seeing that yet in Idaho Falls, but I anticipate we're maybe a little bit behind, maybe 6 weeks behind the Salt Lake City market. So we aren't feeling it here, but all over the country, you're going to see a lot of folks that don't have work are going to need work. So those layoffs are happening. The enthusiasm for a bright, bustling economy is going to come down. The stock market's already been, I haven't watched today. I didn't see what happened today, but it's been coming down. It's had a huge correction. I'm not sure if it's hit bottom yet or not, but they're making allowances for what's coming our way, which is there are going to be people who need work. There are going to be people who need jobs. Their wages are not going to keep up with inflation. Inflation is going to continue on for a while, and then it's going to level off. But even if it levels off at 8.6%, it doesn't get it. That means they're still having price increases at a rate of 8.6%. Even if inflation comes to a halt, even if inflation is now zero, you're still going to have to deal with the high prices that you have to right now today. You're still going to have to make up for whatever those grocery bills are today, the gas that there is today. Hey, gas prices might eventually come down. I don't know how they are, but what no one's talking about right now is what's going on in the food supply. So nobody forecasted this Ukraine thing. And Ukraine isn't what's causing our gas prices to go up. But the fact that we don't know what's going to happen with Ukraine produces a lot of wheat, a lot of grain, a significant, not a major part of the world supply of food by all means, but a significant amount that they're talking now. There's likely to be many countries that have hunger, famine. We're going to have, our country's going to have enough money. You're going to have enough money. You're not going to go hungry. There might be shortages, but prices are going to stay high for food because there's going to be huge demands for food. So those prices are going to stay high. But the bottom line of what I'm telling you about all this is, if you've got a home, we warn people, don't go be buying a new home. There's a bad time to be buying a home. We warn people, don't sell your home, even though you could get a lot out of it, unless you had a home to move into, because those prices are going to continue to go up. I don't think home prices are going to continue to go up. I think they're going to level off and they're going to come down. I would wait a while. If I was going to buy a home, I'd wait a little while. Let these prices, if you wanted to sell your home today, it may not be a bad idea if you could get enough out of it, but don't do it unless you got a home to move into. And it's going to cost you, your payments are going to go through the roof. If you have a home at a 2% interest rate, there's no way I'd sell that unless I absolutely had to. Hang on to it. And when you see your neighbor sell his home for a fraction of what you just paid for yours, it's okay because you got a low interest rate. You're going to be okay if you don't have to sell. Don't worry about selling your home. Just stay there for a while. If you have a low interest rate, you'll be all right. So there are going to be a lot of things we can't forecast. We haven't been here before. We've never seen this before. But there's going to be turmoil. There's going to be people who are out of work, and we got the solution for them. We have a way for people to build a substantial secondary income to subsidize, to supplement their current income. We have that for them. So I'm just telling you, when you see this world turn more upside down than it is, and it's going to get worse in many respects, the smartest thing is go out there and build your Melaleuca business. Get after it. Get out there and tell people the financial turmoil that they find their own family in. We've got the solution for them. We've got the answers for them, and it's a solid answer. You build a Melaleuca business, boy, it lasts and lasts and lasts. When we talk about repeat income, it's real. We got the real deal, and we have the only real deal that I'm aware of. During this, during these hot economic times, a lot of people got wrapped up in all kinds of scams, and people scammed them. And a lot of people lost a lot of money, and if they haven't lost a lot of money, they're going to lose a lot of money. Their cryptocurrencies are upside down, and people did a lot of crazy things. We don't do any crazy things. We stick to substance, and we bring that to the table. So we think that we have a really bright future here. If you get out there and tell folks what we have here, solid repeat income that comes in month after month, year after year, that you can count on, from customers that buy month after month after month and year after year. I don't know how you could get anything better. So we think we're in a real good position for that. Let me follow up with this. This new presentation we've got, this new overview, it's been a real hit out there. We've had tremendous success. The stories continue to roll in. How much better it is, what an improvement it is, how easy it is to present now. Even somebody new, brand new, can do a presentation now. They couldn't do that before, and they can now. So, and we've had a lot of people that haven't done some presentations for a while. They kind of got lost because we kind of got going in different directions. And everybody kind of, we're doing their own thing, and now we're coming back together. It's really important that we teach people, this is the presentation. Everybody needs to be doing the same one. Now, you could sit there and you could just read the presentation, really, and do a pretty good one. But it's really important to add your own story, personalize it. Don't just do it rote. I mean, you could do it rote and be very successful, but be sure to add your own personal story. Be sure to add your own personal product experiences. We've left room for that. It's a real powerful presentation, and it's being very, very successful. The close rate is really, really good. We just need to have more people doing it, because month out, dying from COVID, I don't know if there is an acceptable rate that we can accept as a country. How many people will die before we care about it? But people are still concerned about it, and I think President Biden said there's going to be another pandemic, and I suspect there will be. There'll be more pandemics coming, more things to be worried about, and it's all going to be about your immune system. And we got the best solution there too. So we've got both. We've got the answer to the two most important things that a household worries about today. One is health, and the other is their financial situation. We have it. We have it in spades. We just need to get out there and with all the confidence in the world, tell people what we've got. Tell them we've got the solution. And if you'll do that, if you'll do it on a consistent basis, you will prosper. And you'll look back and say, that's the best decision I ever did, to throw my whole heart and soul into building the Melaleuca business, and not to let anybody stop me. I really appreciate what Danny and Maria and the others are doing on this program. I watch every once in a while to see what you guys are up to. And this is a good program, what you guys are doing. I'm really appreciative of you bringing people together, keeping people focused. It's really beneficial. So I would, build each other up, support each other, celebrate each other's success, and let people know we got the solution. So that's my message for you tonight. That'll be my message for you a year from now. It hasn't changed a bit. Our products keep getting better. Our message keeps getting stronger, but it continues to be the message. We've got the solution.
Thank you, Frank. And I love that. And so many of the points that you talked about hit home, not only tonight, but when you did that, you had that talk with us in replacement of doing that little tour that you were going to go on. And like I was telling you before, for half my life now, we talked about, I've been debt-free and I've had peace not having to worry about how I'm going to pay my bills or how I'm going to be able to take time to spend time with family. And to me, that's true wealth, is being able to have the time and the choices to do the things that are mostly important. So I thank you so much for that. And we appreciate having you on here. And I do have, Maria and I both have a couple of questions. And I think Maria's are Belinda approved. So you'll be okay there. But, we are in a very vulnerable world right now where people are there's so much uncertainty going on. So you can't even call them multi-level marketing companies anymore, because everybody has a different name for what their company is, but just for now, we'll stick to the old truth of what they really are, is multi-level marketing, and they're coming around, and everybody's making promises, and there's all this flash and this glitter and these, just everything. It's like the what do they call it, the preview, or the highlight reel to what life can be like. All you have to do is this and you'll get all this. But what counsel would you give to people that are in multi-level marketing and they're looking at Melaleuca? And that's the first part. And the second part of that is, what advice would you give those that actually have come over from Melaleuca, or over to Melaleuca? So first, people that are looking at us, but they're in one of those. Sorry, guys, I got to call it one of those. And then also the people that have made the decision to come here, because we know all roads lead to Melaleuca. What counsel or advice would you give to them?
Well, first, okay, the first counsel I'd give them is to look at what they're currently doing, and realize if they're selling something in a multi-level marketing scheme, there's never been a successful multi-level marketing company in the last 70 years. There haven't been any in the last 70 years. And in fact, I've made this challenge to find one. Why would you do something that consistently fails and has consistently failed throughout history? If you think there is currently a success successful multi-level mirror. So what happens is, you see there's something magical about $300 million in sales, annual sales. They get that point and then they crash and burn. They run out of garages to fill up, and they just crash and burn consistently. So you build it and it falls apart. Then you go to the next one and you say, oh, I'm going to take my group over here. And then you build it and it falls apart. It falls apart because it's not built on real business principles. It's built on getting people to buy a lot more stuff than they'll ever use, with the concept that, look, if you just buy more stuff, you'll get rich because we'll bonus you on what you buy. But your bonus isn't nearly as much as what the product cost you. So you're sitting there with a garage full of stuff and you got to figure out, how do I get rid of this? And you can't, and you don't. And they keep enticing you. They have that end of the month call. The end of the month, that's the volume line, whatever they call that. It's the midnight where you go. Now you can do it on the internet. They used to call on the phone and say, what's my volume? Oh, okay, it's that. Well, then let me use my credit card. What am I? I'm $2,000 short of, I need to get to maintain my bonus. I'm $2,000. Well, I'll use my credit card. I'll put in my $2,000. So on your own purchase, they bonus you on your own purchase, for Pete's sake. That's not a business concept. That's a concept that's doomed to fail, and they always do. They just want to get as much money out of you as they possibly can. If you've worked a multi-level company business, then you know what I'm talking about. It's that end of the month moment when you look and see what your volumes are, and then you buy the difference. Why people continue to do that? It destroys homes, marriages, broken promises, broken homes, broken families. It just destroys one life after another. Do you really want to be part of that? Even if you're at the top of the pyramid. So it's the first guy in wins, and in those deals where you got to get into the ground floor, and the last guy in loses. Why would you? Do you really want to put in a business, be in a business, devote your life to destroying lives? Who would do that? And they all do it. You will not find an exception to what I just told you. So first thing I would say, look at what you're involved in and ask yourself, do you want to keep doing that when you know it's going to fall apart like they always do? Or do you want to come to something that is solid, that's been around for a while, continues to grow, continues to prosper? You don't have to hype. You don't have to tell anybody any untruths, and build repeat income that comes in month after month after month. You don't have to go out and get somebody to go invest in some inventory or buy a bunch of stuff at the end of the month so they'll qualify for a bonus. And our business, so those companies, if you say how much got to the end consumer, Herbalife got in all this trouble. They couldn't tell. The CEO had no idea how much got to the end consumer. I can tell you how much of our sales get to the end consumer. 100%. Not any of it ended up in somebody's inventory. And that's a real business. When you got the end customer that is driving the revenue stream, the end customer is driving the revenue stream rather than people buying inventories. The end customer buying it, you got a real business. You got people buying inventories, that's what's driving your business. That's a phony business. It'll never last. So my counsel is, don't spend any more of your money there or any more of your time on something that you know is going to fall apart.
Interesting. Thank you, Frank.
Makes absolute sense. Thank you, Frank. And thanks for talking about, the economy, the inflation and interest rates, and wages are not keeping up with inflation. And this is all around. So for our Canadian friends, I'm Canadian. I'm talking to you from the Canadian side right now. I'm here for the summer. This is happening all across Canada too. So it's not just on the American side, it's happening here. Gas is ridiculous. It's a $5.65 American, if we're going to put into American dollars, per gallon. We go by liters here, but per gallon is $5.65. And, the interest rates have already gone up here. But I'm so glad you alluded to all that today, Frank, because we do have a solution to help people with their financial situation. Today, literally a few hours ago, I even took a picture of it. I was just blown away. On Fox News, they reported that 8.4 million Americans are behind on their rent payments. 8.4 million Americans are behind on their rent payments already, right now. And it's just going to get worse. So those are people that we can help. And they're saying that rent increased in the month of May by 15%. So people need us more now than ever. So thank you for talking about that, Frank, because it's so important. We need to get our messaging out there. We need to let people know we have something for them to help them out financially for now and in the future. And speaking of that, my question to you is, where do you see ourselves, like us, Meluk as a company, in the next 5 years, and then deeper into the future in the next 20 years?
Well, first, let's talk about what you just mentioned, and that is, we not only do we have a solution, we have a solution that's not going to take an investment. One thing people don't have right now is extra money. I mean, the inflation is taking every single, if they had any slack in their budget, inflation has just gobbled that up. Now they're looking for, good night, I won't make it to the end of the month. I need more cash. And we have a solution that is not going to require it's going to require investment of time, effort, and yes, energy, but not an investment of money. And those kind of investments just aren't available anywhere. So we have a real unique opportunity for folks to increase their monthly income without increasing their expenditures. And so I'll come to that first. You know, people always ask me, they've asked me forever, what's your forecast? Where are we going to be 5 years from now? And throughout my entire business career, we've done, you know, with my two former employers, which were both Fortune 500 companies, and I was a vice president with each of those firms. We always did 5-year forecast. We do a 1-year forecast. And I can tell you this, whatever we forecast is not what happened. So I've never seen a forecast come true yet. I would never have forecasted that COVID would bring such dramatic growth to us. I would have never forecasted that. I mean, we had the solution. We've had the solution for health, but they just, poured in to create during COVID when other companies were going bankrupt. We were growing faster. We had the fastest. Our graph just goes like that. But that was the best year we'd ever had. The best growth year was during COVID. I would have never forecasted that. So for me to give you a forecast wouldn't do much good. But I will tell you this: the opportunity for us is just phenomenal. If we could get, we got the health message out, and we did a good job, and people have been flocking to us, and now we need to do a better job of getting the financial message out. People needed wellness, and they came to us for wellness. Now they need money, so we need to get better at telling the money story. So the business opportunity story, that's going to resonate more now with when people had all this money because of all the subsidies that were being given them by the federal government. The money story didn't resonate, but the wellness story resonated. And now it's going to be a money story as well as wellness story. So I couldn't tell you, I'm going to tell you that, we're going to become we're already at a $2.4 billion company. We're going to become a $10 billion company. Then we're going to get 20. But I can't tell you the time frame. I don't know. I have to ask you, where are you going to take us? Where are you? So I've been always hesitant to give you, we're going to be at this point, at this piece. I've never done that. Number one, because I'd always be wrong. And number two, I don't think it's a wise thing to do. I can tell you that first we're going to, it took us, I forget how many years to hit $1 billion. I wish I'd been prepared with that answer. And it took us only a few years to get from 1 billion to 2 billion. And so the next target is, of course, 3 billion, and then 4, and then 5. I don't know how far away 10 is. We could open up a lot of other countries. We are hesitant to do it. A lot of companies they just want to grow, and so they dump this nation and they go to a new country. And we've seen the businesses not do well when they open up. And I haven't allowed that. I've had people suggesting we ought to go and open up, all these other nations, and we could grow so fast. But we're committed to America and Canada first, and we are committed to, of course, to Mexico. We're committed to Taiwan. We're committed to China, because those are countries we're in, and we're going to get most of our growth out of those. And we're going to be very, very careful with how we open up new countries, because we got a lot on our plate. It's like a kid in a candy store. We got so many products we can do, so we can get so much better at our message, we've got an extremely bright future. But I'm going to hedge on telling you, I've never done it, never said we're going to be here by then. Look at our graph and see you can kind of see the trajectory we're on. If we keep doing what we're doing, we'll stay on that trajectory.
And we're in a good direction.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Frank, okay, I have a tough one that a couple of people had sent in. So, how is it that Melaleuca is not multi-level marketing, and how do you compare the other companies that are kind of copying our model where they have customers ordering direct and they're not doing inventory? How would you comment on that part? I don't know if I asked it as well as they typed it. I should have read it. But
Okay. Well, first, I don't know all the companies that are out there. I don't know. So I've never been one to watch this company X, Y, or Z. We used to have these companies of the quarter, we call them. It seemed like every 3 months there was some MLM deal that was pinging away at our people, and and they would be the hottest thing in town. And then 2 months after that, you wouldn't hear from them ever again. And so those things have come and gone. I would watch this. So I don't know about companies that, I'm not saying that every single company that markets a business opportunity is an MLM, but everyone I've ever seen is an MLM. So I would ask this: do they pay you a bonus on your own purchases?
Mm-hmm.
Do they pay you a bonus on your own purchases? Can you buy yourself to the next level? Can you send them a check and they will pretend that that is actually a sale to a consumer? Could you send them a check for $5,000 and they'll cash your check and elevate you and say your volume is X, when you know it was all phony? I would look at that. I'll bet you every one of those companies will do that. Will they tell you at the end of the month what your volume is, and will they let you make up the difference?
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, hey, maybe you got it. If those 2 things don't happen, maybe you've got something that's not an MLM. But I got a hunch. I haven't seen any of them yet. I'd be the last person to say that somebody couldn't follow our model, but we're 36 years ahead. We have over 400 products. Our product line is not going to be a burden on anybody. And that's the test. Do your products outperform everything else? Do they have some product that no one is using, some juice or some weight loss drink or some gimmick, or is it really consumable products that people are already using in their home? Are you going to be a burden on their budget because they're not already buying whatever the magic thing is you're selling? Do they come in with hype? Do they tell you that this is going to be a snake oil kind of thing? It'll cure everything from soup to nuts, it'll cure cancer and all that stuff. Do they tell you how rich you're going to get if you just buy more stuff? Okay, those are things that I'd look for. And I'd be the last person to say that you couldn't create a model like Melaleuca's. It's just that you're 36 years behind. And I've not seen anybody do it. Look at their prices and see how are their prices stack up to. So our model is, our founding axiom was exceptional products at reasonable prices, which means our products have to compete with wherever people buy their current products. So if they're buying in the grocery store, we have to compete with the grocery store. Value for value. And now we have concentrated products, not bottle for bottle, because our little ball of Malapower will do more wash loads than a bottle 4 times that size of Tide. But wash load for wash load, what's the price? What's it cost you? Is it an increase in your budget? What are they selling? And I would say, you'll see if you got somebody that's not an MLM, well, good for them then. Good on them, and they ought to do the best that they could do. Nobody should stand in their way, and we would applaud them. We've never seen anybody have a model like that. Not a.
I'm so glad you elaborated on that, Frank, because that's what they're hiding behind right now. When we talk to people from MLM, they say, oh, our customers shop direct too with the company and we don't have any inventory. But what they're not telling you is they're being told what their volume is and that they can purchase the difference.
So how do
And
they
there's
not have an inventory when they do that?
exactly.
When they throw in
Exactly.
$2,000 at the end of the month to buy stuff for themselves. I mean, really?
Or they're getting
They
don't have an inventory?
and stuff. Yeah.
Who's kidding who?
Yeah. They hide behind our customers shop direct too with the company.
But let me explain this. That's not who we're competing with. None of these guys have market share. Not a one of them even make a blip in the marketplace. I mean, they wouldn't measure up against the real competitors. The real competitors are our competitors are not those guys. And we shouldn't even spend too much time talking about them. Now they're selling the business opportunity. That's what people have to be careful about, because they'll take your money and run. And they'll wave the big checks, but the guy at the top wins and the guy at the bottom loses, because you're going to have to buy a bunch of stuff. They're going to force you to buy stuff that you just don't need and could never use.
Mhm.
Or they're going to charge you. They'll sell you one bottle of shampoo for $25 and say you only need, they're going to charge you outrageous prices for something that would never measure up. If you had a real customer buying a real product at a price that's competitive, they won't do it. It won't exist. I'm pretty sure. Been around for a while. I've never seen one. That doesn't mean that somebody couldn't actually follow our model, but we haven't seen anybody do it yet.
Well, it's hard to have repeat income when you have products that are expensive. I don't see how that could last. Well,
your customer is going to end up. Your customers, we have 82% of our folks. We have 82% of our folks that buy the product, that furnish the money, that furnish all the revenue, that buy all of our products, that don't get one penny worth of bonus.
Mm-hmm.
They're not in it for the bonus. They want to buy our products because they believe in Melaleuca's products. They believe in what we do for their health. Okay, we're proud of that. That's what makes it a real business. When you have people buying your product, not because they get a bonus, but because it's the best products in the universe. That's why they buy our products. That's what makes it a real business.
Mhm.
And they buy them because they're competitively priced with what they can buy anywhere else. They're better quality and competitively priced. So that's what I think a real business is. When your customer chooses your product versus the competitor, and there's no bonus involved in the proposition.
Yeah, we do have the best
I have
products
to.
on the
That's a
planet.
mic drop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we have the best products on the planet. That's what keeps our business thriving. So thank you for that, Frank. So my next question, a very fun question. Are we going to be seeing you and Belinda in Tulum in September?
Of course.
Awesome.
Yes, we are. Yes, you are.
Okay, good. We're excited to see you both come. That's awesome. Because I know last time.
My new position as executive chairman is freeing me up to not have to do the day-to-day. I mean, when you're in 18 countries and 4,500 employees, and you have so many moving parts, and you got to be administering that, and you're never closed, because we're open someplace in the country 24 hours a day. When we're closed here, they're awake there, and when they're awake there, we're closed here. So that takes a lot of time. I have now downloaded all of that to Jerry Felton, who's really a capable administrator. This is going to free me up, to come out and see people more, which I really enjoy. I enjoy talking to folks. It got pretty busy, and you're not seeing me very much because I'm trying to run a business. You can't really do both.
Yeah.
You can't really be out in the field at the same time you're trying to do the day-to-day. So I've chosen to do, I'll still do the direction setting and so forth. But I get out to see people more.
I love that. And I have my final question, which is kind of right in hand with what you're doing, because I know we turned into a pumpkin on the hour. So this is from Mr. Nick Constantino. He was asking, I want to make sure I don't screw this one up. He said, that he believes you mentioned that you're excited with the new role and that you'll have more time to interact with the field. And he said, have you or would you entertain the idea of putting together something like a marketing executive field suggestion box that has a direct link to your eyes and ears? I think, and he says, I want to thank you in advance for everything you do.
All right. Well, you might not know this, but we already have that. We have a suggestion box of sorts. When we do standing, we have twice a year we meet with the leaders, standing ELC, and we have another meeting called Quest. And prior to those meetings, we send out surveys to all of the leaders who are attending those meetings. Who are qualified to attend those meetings. They don't even have to attend the meeting. And we ask them for their input. So, and my eyes see every one of those suggestions. And so yes, I mean, that's how we built this business. We listen to the field. So get your suggestions in when we ask for them. We'll take suggestions. I'll say suggestions anytime. You can email me anytime you want. I'll respond to almost any email that's sent to me, regardless of who it's from. So if you have my email address, fbandersloot@meloga.com, you can email me a suggestion or a question. I'll get it into the right hands.
That's awesome. I remember when we used to hand the mic around. Now we'll never be able to do that again.
No, it's too many. We were up till 2 a.m. then. So I don't know how we do that today.
Frank, I want to just thank you so much, Scott, as well. And I can't wait to see you and Belinda. And you always are so generous with your time and just with your mission to help us. And it really, there's no words that can express how much it means to us. So I just want to say thank you so much. And we love you and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Well, I want you to know that we have a business about enhancing lives. You have all enhanced my life and my family's life beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And I just want to tell you how grateful we are to have every one of you on board with us and to have you believe in our mission and out there with us, doing your best to enhance the lives of others. And I just want you to know, my life has been enhanced by you. I'm having the greatest life that anybody could ever imagine on this planet. I feel guilty sometimes. So anything that we can do to help you, let us know. We want to. Thank you for letting me talk to you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Frank. Thank you for creating this opportunity that's definitely enhanced all of our lives. And I'm grateful every day for this opportunity. So thank you. We love you and Belinda, and we thank you and your family for all that you do for us in the field. And we can't wait to give you a big hug in person in September. So thank you again for joining us tonight. And thanks for, being on here as late as it is there. But thank you again. And thank you everyone for joining us here tonight. We want to wish everyone a safe and happy Canada Day this Friday, and happy 4th of July. Stay safe. And also we'll see you back here on Monday, July 11th with newly promoted Corporate Director 2, Seville Coit. We appreciate you being here on our Time and Freedom Community Call and Fast Track Training. Have yourself a great end of the month and finish strong. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody.